thanks for joining me today for episode 7 of Infinite Hope. We all know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there in terms of the US election and everything, so I think we can all use a dose of good news, and that's what I'm here to provide. So before I get started, please hit that like and subscribe button and share this out there with everybody so we can all get that dose of positivity that we desperately need. Let's do it. Okay, so for this first story here, shout out to my friend Kai MFS for sending me this one. Thank you so much, Kai. Says, burn victim cosplaying Deadpool receives a great reply from Ryan Reynolds, who I love. And I'm guessing this is the burn victim. Wow. Let's read on here. Ryan Reynolds has proved again that he is a good human being. Playing a superhero can inspire people to live a happy, fulfilling life. He is being praised all over the world for his fantastic response to Jadiant's inspirational Instagram post. Jadiant is a burn victim who dressed up as Deadpool, the superhero character played by Reynolds. Jadiant did a split and tagged the actor in his post. Deadpool has made him feel confident about putting himself in front of the world without any hesitation. Ryan has motivated him to come out of his shell and not be afraid. What did Ryan Reynolds say? John Quinn, or Jadiant, said that it was very emotional to get a response from Ryan. He said that as a guy who usually keeps things in, this worked for him. John Quinn's Instagram post got the attention of Deadpool actor Ryan Reynolds, and he was moved by it. Afterwards, Jadiant said that he isn't ashamed of how he looks. Aww, that's so sweet. Who is Jadiant and what did he say? Josh, or Jadiant, is an expert cosplayer, a bodybuilder, motivational speaker, and med student. He was happy that his idol Ryan Reynolds recognized his efforts. Jadiant didn't expect Ryan to reply at all. I felt reborn, he said. Jadiant is also an ambassador for the Courageous Faces Foundation. He is very passionate about it. The organization is dedicated to improving the quality of life for purpose with a rare and severe illness, whether it's traumatic injury, illness, or genetics. Jadiant loves this foundation and wants everyone to know about it. He says our mission statement helps to give better quality of life for people with rare or severe conditions. Even COVID-19 pandemic, he is working for the foundation. John Jadiant got burned when he was 4 years old. He was playing in the farm when his dog knocked a candle down. He was caught in a massive fire. He suffered 95% burns to his body and has gone through more than 100 operations since then. Oh, ouch. His sister Leah pulled John out of the fire. He was also put in a coma for 6 months. He got better and completed all the physical therapies and treatment. The experience has made him more caring and strong. Wow. And I mean, that is just such a touching story. That is rough. Oof. Jadiant's philosophy. Any person who is going through a rough time can tell you, come to terms with his difficulties. He said that there is no single right solution for every suffering, but it's important to remember these feelings and validate them, and don't stay in them. Oftentimes, it's simpler to give in to despair and not care, but just beware that our biggest enemy is ourselves. He continued, so I'd say try practicing self-compassion and really being a good friend to yourself. Jadiant learned from films like Avatar, The Last Airbender, that sometimes the best way to solve our problems is to help someone else with theirs. When someone selflessly helps others to solve their problems, he is rewarded with a solution to his own problem. It is important for everyone to find happiness in their lives, to find happiness in every single moment, even if when you are sad, is very important. Ryan Reynolds was a huge help in achieving this for Jadiant. He is happy that he overcame his fear and now wants to help others. No one deserves to be unhappy just because they are different. So guys, what do you think of his philosophy? Do you agree? Absolutely. Of course I agree. I mean, that is very well said. And that is actually very close to my own philosophy. You have to find happiness and you have to be thankful for the little things you have. I mean, things can go wrong at any moment in life, and sometimes you just have to find the little things that matter to you and stick to those things, because they can always be bad things. And yeah, so I definitely agree with that philosophy. Okay, so next we have this story that says pet parrots cries of Anton, save owner from house fire. A man in Brisbane has survived a late night house fire after his pet parrot sounded the alarm before smoke detectors kicked in. Wow. Guessing that's the parrot. Wow, that's insane. The house was engulfed in flames when crews arrived just after 2 a.m. local time. Anton Nguyen said he was lucky to escape uninjured after his parrot Eric alerted him to danger. QFES Acting Inspector Cam Thomas said the parrot squawked Anton to alert Nguyen of the danger. There was a gentleman asleep at the time, he said. He heard a large bang and his parrot Eric actually alerted him to get out of the building, and they both got out fine. There was smoke detectors, but the bird alerted before the smoke detectors went off. That's pretty amazing. I'm in shock, but I'm fine, Nguyen told ABC News. Everything's all right so long as I have myself and the bird. Well, I would say, my goodness, I love animals, and these kind of stories always touch my heart very much. I'm glad that he's okay, and that parrot, well, that's awesome. That's a good friend. Okay, so for this next article, this is pretty awesome because I love Star Trek. So this was definitely a cool find, and I gotta give another shout out to Kai MFS for this one. Thank you so much, Kai. Says this microscopic 3D printed Star Trek Voyager can move on its own. That's pretty cool. Physicists from Leiden University have 3D printed a miniature version of an Intrepid-class starship from Star Trek. The idea of tiny starships is probably something you haven't considered outside the plot of a Star Trek episode, but this microscopic model is actually part of a larger research experiment the physicists published in their scientific journal Soft Matter. The ship, measuring 15 microns in size, looks like the USS Voyager and was microprinted by the physicists for their MicroSwimmer research. The articles note that these studies usually use sphere-shaped models for tests, so the more out there shapes you see here were intended to produce different results and push the limits of the researchers' 3D printer in the process. Wow, that's so cool. So these are some of the other shapes they've created, including this little tugboat. That's pretty cool. There's little Voyager. That's awesome. MicroSwimmers are a broad scientific category used to sort organisms as objects that move through liquids. Bacteria or your white blood cells could be considered microswimmers. Studying the movement of synthetic microswimmers is supposed to provide insights into their natural counterparts, but futurists have also imagined possible futures where synthetic microswimmers could be part of a targeted delivery system for drug treatments and other therapies. For now, this journal article comes more modest conclusions. 3D microprinted models could be potentially useful for future experiments, and the useful shapes used might offer the ability to get more designed types of movement out of the microswimmers than traditional spheres and cylinders do. Most importantly to me, it's really cool to imagine tiny spaceships and boats traveling through your body like something out of an Inner Space or Osmosis Jones. The scientists might not be able to explicitly say that in their study, but I'm sure they were thinking that too, and that's pretty cool. I was kind of thinking that too, but I was thinking of the Magic School Bus because I used to love that show, and when they would shrink the bus, and they would go into the DNA, and they would, you know, swim up and help Miss Frizzle out with like, different things and everything like that inside the body, like with the spaceship, with the bus. And also Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of like did the same thing. So I love that, like this kind of idea, and look how cute it is. It's awesome. I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so for this next piece of news here, I saw this on Twitter that said Schoolboy discovers remains of 247 million year old giant reptile, but didn't give much detail. So I went and kind of fished around for more detail, and I found this article that gives a little bit more detail, and then I'll read that and we'll come back and watch this little 30-second video here. Okay, so here's the article, and it reads, Schoolboy discovers remains of a 247 million year old giant reptile. A 7-year-old boy residing in the Far East Russia has discovered the prehistoric fossil of a giant marine reptile, an ichthyosaur, that inhabited the seas of Earth about 247 million years ago. The Primorsky Aquarium Research Center reported the find on October 29th. The remains were found by Dmitry Sirenko while walking along the coast of Russky Island, along with the local team of dinosaur enthusiasts. Well, that was convenient. The Primorsky Aquarium Research Center has transported the piece to the laboratory for further analysis and study. So let's check this video out. Okay, so here's the video. It's pretty short here. That's so cool. Now, if you want to watch the longer version of this video, it is on that article, but it was in Russian, like this guy was speaking Russian in it. So if you happen to speak Russian, you can go to that article. I'll link it down below, and you guys can watch that and, you know, see him speak about this find, which is so cool. And that's it for this episode of Infinite Hope, episode 7. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I brought you some positivity into your life and helped you realize that there's other stuff going on other than the craziness in the news right now, what you see on Twitter. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Share this out there, especially on, you know, on social media, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm to share this out there. Let's spread the positivity, and that there is good stuff going on. There's good stuff going on in humanity. Let's help each other up. It's all good. Don't worry, guys. We'll get through this together. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. Bye.